Okay, Haley, last but not least, you're the last one on my list. Let's look at your week 3 work here. So pure contour drawing. So you really just needed to do what's in the palm. You didn't need to do the whole hand here. It's just, kind of getting us to think a little more abstractly, getting us to think about those fine details and kind of the randomness, yet detailedness of them all, if that makes sense at all. Nice job here. Really beautiful sense of the palm and the fingers, and then once we get that shading in is where you'd really be able to get that sense of depth in those, and that's the idea here, is just to think about how the shape of an object lays in a two-dimensional plane and then trying to give it that three-dimensional detail. So we lose a little bit of that nice proportion here in the fingers. So the fingers look really nice here, and then we kind of lose it slightly here. So let's maintain this. So let's maybe keep practicing this so that we can get that here as well. I mean, this looks good. It's just we get kind of like thin here in the fingers. And again, we want to think about how those lights and shadows would fall. They'd probably be lighter here in the tips of the fingers because those are going to be the ones that are the most forward. Like this here is the highest. This is higher than this, if that makes sense. So you want to do the same thing on the fingers there. And same thing here. So I'd like to see some more, shadowing going on, to get those highlights and shadows to give us that realistic sense of proportion. And we lose a little bit of that nice proportion here again too, just in the way these fingers would kind of round. It feels like this hand wouldn't actually be able to hold this object quite solid the way you've got it rendered. And let me zoom in actually slightly. Here we go. So I can see, because I'm trying to see, this looks like, okay, you've got the fingernails, but we'd probably want to see more of like the tips. Well, this one you would see the fingernail. This one I can see that you're trying to do kind of that in between. This is nice here. This is kind of what I was looking for, given more that pop, that highlight. And it's hard to get the dark nails and then get the highlight as well. So think about how light falls on a darker object and just start looking around at that. And yeah, I think it's more the wrist, the way the wrist is kind of shaped in comparison to this. This probably needs to be a little bit softer and rounder. But we're getting there. Our proportions are definitely strengthening overall. To be honest, this is your strongest one here. So let's keep doing this, keep practicing, and I like what I'm seeing.